Today's a rough day for the stock market. The Dow is doing exactly what we feared that it was going to do. But have no fear, Boyce is here. I'm going to break down this volatility, let you know what's going on in the market. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under one condition. The condition is not that you have to be black. We love everybody. We don't hate nobody. But you have to be B1. You got to know that in this space, we put our people at the top of the priority list. B1 means that we know that our children, B1 children, are going to lead the world in economics, wealth building, real estate development, etc., in the next 50 years by the year 2070. And also, B1 means that we understand we must be one in order to be successful. That means come together and be one and have one plan where you're going to execute that plan and win. If you agree with the philosophy, put your hashtag B1 in the chat. All the B1 people, put your hashtag B1 in there. All right, so my name is Corey. Says I look forward to seeing you next weekend. Yeah, I'm coming to Baltimore, drboycebaltimore.com. If you want to come out and hang out, we're going to talk about the developing the black business mindset. I have a theory, and and I know the theory is right because my PhD is in finance, so I understand money very well. And basically, what you're missing in your community is you're missing your entrepreneurs. The black community, if we had a revolution, not marching in the street, not singing Black Lives Matter, not holding hands and singing "We Shall Overcome" or the Black National Anthem. If we got together and just said all of us are going to raise children that are going to become investors and business owners on some level, maybe even if they do it as a side hustle, then that would literally create probably $5 to $10 trillion worth of black wealth in the next generation. You just got to be better than everybody else, which you already are. You're already better than everyone else, in my opinion. You already have specialness in your DNA. Nobody else can say they survived the Middle Passage, Jim Crow, 250 years of chattel slavery and mass incarceration and still came out shining. So that's my plan. That's what I believe, and we're going to talk about that next week in Baltimore. So drboycebaltimore.com if you want to come by. Now today, give me a yes or no if your stocks took a hit. Put a yes if you did take a hit, a no if you did just fine. Yes or no, did your stocks take a hit? And let me just tell you a little secret. I'm hoping that a lot of you say yes. I'm hoping that you say a lot of you say yes, that your stocks did take a hit today. And the reason I hope that a lot of you say yes is because that if you say yes, that means that you have a portfolio that's probably pretty well diversified. It means that it's correlated with the market overall. That means that you're not over invested in things like meme stocks or Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or AMC or GameStop. Now these investments are fine, but these are all very speculative investments. These are not. This is not real investing. That's gambling, right? So sometimes you may say, "Ha ha! Everybody lost money, but I made money today because I put 80% of my money into AMC." Well, you know what? You'll get your ass kicked in a minute too if you're not careful with that, because those stocks are bubbles waiting to burst, and they could pop in the next couple months because you're going to see a market correction. As we mentioned earlier this week, the month of September has historically been a crazy month for the market. Some of the worst crashes in history have occurred in the month of October, even though on average October is a better month. And today, when the prices dropped by over 200 points, a lot of people felt that this was a sign of exactly what they expected, which was additional volatility for the month of September. So according to CNBC, this says stocks dipped Friday as investors remain cautious due to a recent resurgence of the COVID virus, a Federal Reserve meeting next week, and a historical tendency for September to be a weak month for equities. Mega cap tech stocks were mostly in the red, while some reopening plays like airlines, cruise lines, and retailers rose. Social media giant Facebook lost 1%. Meanwhile, United Airlines and Carnival both gained more than 1%. American and Delta also rose 1.5% apiece. That's kind of fascinating, right? I'm a big believer in some of those reopening plays, the airlines, the cruise ships, and the casinos in particular. Now, Facebook is interesting because right now Facebook is getting just body slammed by the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if y'all been reading these articles, but the Wall Street Journal, apparently there's somebody in the higher ups of the Wall Street Journal that has a beef with Facebook, and they are taking that beef out in public, and it's getting messy. It's becoming some more Biggie Pac type stuff because basically they have been really dogging Facebook and saying a lot of the things many of us have said before. For example, they're saying Facebook has a hierarchy, that they have some people on Facebook that have to follow the rules, like you and I. I don't know about y'all. How many of y'all been in Facebook jail at least a couple of times? How many Facebook jail felons we got up in here? How many, that I think that's a badge of honor. If you haven't been banned from Facebook, that means to me that means you ain't saying nothing. So anyway, I've probably been banned by Facebook for a week or more, probably about 40 times, right? In fact, I had a page that had 600,000 subscribers on it, and in fact, the rapper Young Ma blew up off of that page and got a record deal when I put her stuff on the page. And so anyway, Facebook loves to put people in Facebook jail, but not everybody goes to Facebook jail. Apparently, Facebook has separate rules for the elite. If you're famous, then they're not going to be as quick to put you in jail. They're going to give you a fair hearing. They're going to be really careful. But if you're just a regular person like you and I, well, it's like, screw you. Who cares? Like, I remember when my page got suspended, we emailed Facebook, we messaged them, etc. And I had 600,000 people, so you would think they'd be paying attention. And we literally hit them up over and over and over again. And Facebook never replied, not one time. They never even told us that the suspension was a permanent ban. Just our page didn't work for 2 years, and then one day it just disappeared. So you talk about no due process. I mean, it just made me so mad. So anyway, the Wall Street Journal is handing Facebook a new one because they're talking about how the Facebook executives knew that their the Instagram was bad for young girls. You got to watch your kids when they're on Instagram because it's doing something to the mindset of teenage girls when they're seeing all these other girls showing their booties and looking real thin and all that. It makes them feel worse about themselves. There's also exposés about just generally speaking, how they're running things and how they're doing things in unethical ways. So check it out. It's really been interesting. So anyway, Facebook, their stock dropped by 1%. It's still a strong company despite all the attacks. And also, I tend to like those tech companies and reopening plays. I like those solid companies right now because you're going to see some volatility in the month of September, most likely. A lot of it has to do also with just market mechanics. What's coming up is what they call the triple witching hour. And the triple witching hour is when a bunch of options and futures all expire at the same time. And what it does is there's a lot of trading, a lot of movement, a lot of rebalancing of portfolios, things like that. So that's kind of what you're going to see in the month of September. And that's why you see all this insanity kind of happening in the market. It's not over. This is the beginning. We're September 17th. I guarantee you that through the rest of the month, you're going to see a little bit of a roller coaster ride in the market. Now, you could watch it and ride the roller coaster, or you could ignore it. And it's long term is going to be fine. But short term, you're going to see a little bit of volatility. So according to John Marshall, the head of derivatives research for Goldman Sachs, he says, we expect volatility to increase over the next month, driven by a seasonal pickup in investor uncertainty, continued virus uncertainty, and significant monetary and fiscal policy catalysts. So he mentioned two words that you should pay attention to in that sentence. One is uncertainty. Uncertainty almost always creates volatility because uncertainty creates what is called information dispersion. And information dispersion means that because there's uncertainty, everybody's got an opinion. You know what they say about opinions? Everybody's got one, right? Well, if you have uncertainty where there's no clarity, like for example, in this virus environment, there's a lot of uncertainty, so there's not a lot of clarity. So everybody and their mama has an opinion on what they think about this virus. Well, the same thing is true about the virus and about the economy. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next. So it's kind of creating a little bit of chaos in the market right now, and you're going to see some volatility. But volatility is a good thing to some extent because it may give you an opportunity to go in and buy some of these stable companies when they have a dip. So if you want to know what I'm doing right now, I'm buying the dips. I'm looking for these strong corporations that know how to make money. And when they dip, when they dip, I dip, you dip, right? I jump in and I start buying when those companies start dipping, especially those strong, stable companies that just know how to make money. The Disneys and the Walmarts and the S&P 500, the Spider, the SPY, stuff like that. All right. So also the Federal Reserve is going to have a meeting for the next couple of days, and they're going to. They meet for 2 days. Sorry, they meet for 2 days next week, and on Wednesday they're expected to give further clues as to when they may slow their $120 billion monthly bond purchases, which has been propping up the market for a long time. Investors are listening to their every word to try to get a sense of what they're going to do next, and that's going to be a big deal too. So if they say anything out of the ordinary, you can expect to see what they call a taper tantrum, where the market may act up a little bit because they're kind of like a spoiled child. You don't get the spoiled kids where you give them everything and their mama buys them a new car every time they wreck the car, right? That's kind of what what happens with rich people in Wall Street, right? Wall Street is like that spoiled teenager where every time they crash the car, the mom just buys them a new one. So they crash the economy. The Fed bails them out and buys them a new one. And so it's heads I win, tails you lose. That's why I've told you guys to become investors, because if you are an investor, then you're going to get some of that wealth that they're getting. You don't just sit back and complain and get mad about it. You could do that if you want to, but I don't think that's going to help you. But you can actually just say, well, you know what? Whatever boat they're on, I'm going to get on their boat, because their boat tends to rise when everybody else's boat is sinking. So don't get on the sinking boats. Don't go out here just thinking that you're going to work your way to wealth. We already know that that's not true. And I'm going to tell you where Black people are going to win, why we're going to get ahead of everybody else, is that right now we are in the middle of the greatest Black economic revolution in the history of this country. Right now, we have probably more Black investors, more Black wealth builders than we've ever had before. We have more people talking about wealth and economics as a matter of common conversation than we've ever had before. We've got the rappers rapping about wealth. We've got regular people talking about wealth. We got people talking about side hustles and investing and all that. And that's what's going to elevate the community. I guarantee you it's going to do it far more than a stupid reparations check ever could. I say stupid, not because reparations are stupid, but because I know that racist people are stupid. And racist people, when they give you your reparations, it's going to look like it's going to look like it's going to be a drop in the bucket. It's going to be 10 cents in your damn bank account, and y'all going to be singing and dancing in the streets, praising Jesus because finally white people acknowledged you. Well, to hell with that. I say you go in there and you make them acknowledge you. You build for your family. You build your wealth. You build your community. You go get what's yours, and you fight for that. Stop waiting for people to come save you. Stop waiting for people to like you. Stop waiting for people to tell you that your life matters, because you knew that it mattered on the day you were born. Your mama knew it. That's why you need to thank your mama, thank your daddy for giving you life, because that's when your life mattered, not when white people started saying in the street. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm in South Dakota with my wife, and she gave me a few minutes to step aside and do this podcast real quick so I can update you guys on what's going on in the market. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. It's right there on the screen. Also, next week, I'll be in Baltimore. If you want to join us in Baltimore, you can go to drboycebaltimore.com. And also, last but not least, if you want to support the channel, if you feel compelled to join our Patreon, you can actually go to intelligentblackpeople.com. So feel free to go there if you'd like to support what's going on here. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's the beginning of a bear market, McCann. I don't know. It might be, but even if it is, bear markets are great opportunities to make money. The most money in history that's ever been made was made typically during bear markets. So I hope that there is a bear market, because that'll give you a chance to get in on America while America's cheap. So holla at your boy. Love you guys. Stay up. Have a great day. And I'll come by and talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.